My patient was drowning in stress. Let's call him John. John was a high-level executive, incredibly sharp, successful. But when he walked into my office, he was completely falling apart. His cortisol levels, which are tied to the body's alarm system, were through the roof. When cortisol gets chronically high, your body is basically stuck in emergency mode, and it starts pulling energy away from everything else, like digestion and your immune system. He told me it felt like a constant low-grade panic attack. The feeling that a predator was lurking around the corner, even when he was safe at home. He wasn't sleeping, he couldn't focus, and he was just bone-tired all the time. We tried everything. We talked about mindfulness. He downloaded all the meditation apps. He sat, he focused on his breath, he tried to just be, but nothing was working. In fact, he said those quiet moments of meditation just gave his racing thoughts an open stage to run wild. He was starting to feel hopeless. That's when I remembered a very specific, almost ridiculously powerful breathing pattern. This isn't meditation. It's not just taking a deep breath. It's a biological reset button that's built into our nervous systems from birth. I taught it to him right there in the office. The result? He felt an immediate shift. It was like a switch flipped. The science behind why this specific reflex works so fast is incredible, and I'm going to break it all down for you right now. Before we get to the technique, you have to understand what John was up against, because it's what so many of us are dealing with every single day. Cortisol itself isn't the bad guy. It's a vital hormone your body releases in response to stress. Think of it as your internal emergency manager. When you face a real threat, cortisol gets your body ready for fight or flight. Your heart rate climbs, your blood pressure goes up, and your breath gets quick and shallow, to pump oxygen to your brain so you can be on high alert. This is a fantastic system if you're jumping out of the way of a speeding car. The problem is, in our modern world, the threats are rarely life or death. They're a looming deadline, a tough conversation, or a 24/7 news cycle that never sleeps. Your brain doesn't really know the difference between a saber-toothed tiger and 1,000 unread emails. It just hits the panic button, and the alarm bells start ringing. When this system gets triggered day after day, your cortisol levels can get stuck on high. This is where the real damage starts. Chronically high cortisol can lead to fatigue, anxiety, brain fog, and terrible sleep. Your body is basically stuck on high alert, and it starts to break down. This is the state John was in. His breathing had become habitually fast and shallow, a classic sign that his fight-or-flight system was running the show. The worst part? That shallow breathing was actually making his anxiety worse, and he didn't even know it. We've all heard it a million times. Just take a deep breath, and sometimes it helps a little. But for people who are truly stressed out, like John, it can be frustratingly useless. So why doesn't it always work? Because when you're in a state of high stress, your breathing pattern has physically changed. You're taking short, shallow breaths, mostly from your chest. This pattern can actually mess with the balance of gases in your blood. You end up blowing off too much carbon dioxide. We usually think of CO2 as just a waste product, but you need the right amount of it for your body to use oxygen properly and keep things stable. When your CO2 levels drop too low from all that rapid breathing, it can paradoxically make you feel more anxious and panicky. So when someone tells you to breathe deeply without any specific structure, you might just be breathing more of the same inefficient way, failing to fix the underlying chaos. This is why meditation wasn't working for John. He was sitting down to calm his mind, but his body was still physically locked in a stress pattern. He needed a tool that could forcibly interrupt that pattern, something that worked on a purely biological level, without asking his mind to do a thing. This is where we found the answer. A breathing pattern called the physiological sigh. And the coolest part is, you already do it without thinking. We all do. It's an involuntary reflex our bodies perform automatically. To keep our lungs healthy, especially during sleep or after a bout of crying as the body tries to calm itself. Scientists first discovered this automatic pattern way back in the 1930s. A physiological sigh isn't just one deep breath. It's a very specific sequence. A double inhale followed by a long, extended exhale. This pattern is controlled by a tiny cluster of neurons in your brainstem, and its main job is to keep your lungs in good shape. But as neuroscientists like Dr. Ando Huberman at Stanford University have helped popularize, we can consciously take control of this reflex. When we do, it becomes the single fastest way to deliberately calm our nervous system down in real time. It's a tool you can use to push back against stress the moment it hits, without needing to stop what you're doing. So what's the magic behind this double inhale, long exhale pattern? Why is it so good at shutting down the stress response? It works on 3 levels. First, the double inhale literally pops your lungs back open. Your lungs are filled with millions of tiny air sacs called alveoli, and this is where the vital exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide happens. When we get stressed and our breathing becomes shallow, some of these tiny sacs can collapse. This makes our breathing less efficient and can increase CO2 in the blood, making us feel agitated. A single deep breath often isn't enough to re-inflate them. But that unique double inhale, a big breath in, and then another little sip of air right on top, creates just enough pressure to pop those millions of tiny sacs open again. You're maximizing your lung capacity for a huge intake of oxygen. Second, the long, slow exhale is your body's brake pedal. This is the real key. The long exhale is directly connected to your vagus nerve, which is the main superhighway of your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest system. When you intentionally extend your exhale, you activate the vagus nerve, which sends a powerful signal to your brain to slow your heart rate and turn off the fight or flight response. Finally, it rapidly rebalances your blood chemistry. Remember how stress breathing messes up your carbon dioxide levels? The physiological sigh is the perfect fix. The double inhale brings in a massive amount of oxygen, and the long, slow exhale allows for a huge and efficient removal of carbon dioxide, quickly bringing those blood gases back into balance. This chemical shift provides an almost instantaneous feeling of relief from that jittery, agitated state. Now that you get the science, let me show you exactly how to do it. It's incredibly simple, and you can do it anywhere. The pattern is 2 inhales through the nose, followed by 1 long exhale through the mouth. Here's the breakdown. Step 1. Take a deep, full breath in through your nose. Try to fill your belly with air first, then your chest. Keep going until you feel you're almost at full capacity. Step 2. Now, without letting any air out, take 1 more short, sharp sip of air through your nose. This is that crucial part that fully inflates the lungs and pops open those little air sacs. Step 3. Finally, slowly and completely exhale all the air out through your mouth. Let it go for as long as you can, much longer than your 2 inhales combined. Really empty your lungs. That's it. 1 cycle. You honestly only need to do this 1 to 3 times to feel a major, immediate drop in your stress level. All right, let's do 3 cycles together right now. You can be sitting or standing. Just get comfortable. Here we go. Take a deep inhale through your nose. Now a second sip of air on top and a long, slow exhale through your mouth, all the way out. Good. Let's do another. A deep inhale through the nose, another sip of air in, and a full, extended exhale out through your mouth. Let it all go. 1 last time. Deep inhale through the nose, 1 more sip, and a very slow, controlled exhale through your mouth until your lungs are completely empty. Now just take a moment. Notice how you feel. You might notice a bit more clarity, a slowing of your thoughts, or even a physical feeling of your shoulders dropping away from your ears. That's your nervous system shifting gears in real time. Recent studies have confirmed just how powerful this technique is. A 2023 randomized controlled trial from Stanford researchers, including Dr. Andrew Huberman and Dr. David Spiegel, was published in the journal Cell Reports, Medicine *. They compared the effects of different 5-minute daily breathing exercises. The groups practiced either the physiological sigh, also called cyclic sighing, box breathing, or cyclic hyperventilation, and were compared against a mindfulness meditation group. While all practices were beneficial, the group practicing cyclic sighing showed the greatest improvement in mood and the most significant reduction in resting respiratory rate. This means that not only does it bring immediate relief in the moment, but with just 5 minutes of consistent practice a day, it can actually lower your baseline stress levels over time. Compared to other techniques, the physiological sigh stands out for its speed. Box breathing is great for focus, but the sigh often provides faster relief when you feel that wave of anxiety hit. Other methods are great for relaxation, but the sigh's unique double inhale adds that critical component of reinflating the lungs, making it especially effective if your stress shows up as chest tightness or feeling like you can't get a good breath. It's the ultimate tool for handling stress right when it happens. For my patient John, this wasn't just another breathing exercise. It was a lifeline. It was the first tool that gave him a real sense of control over his own physiology. He started using it before big meetings, when he felt road rage creeping in, and even when he'd wake up in the middle of the night with a racing heart. And it worked every single time. The beauty of the physiological sigh is its simplicity and its profound, science-backed impact. You're using a built-in reflex to consciously tell your body to relax. You aren't just hoping for calm. You are mechanically creating it. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just take my word for it. The next time you feel that familiar tension rising, that tightness in your chest, that feeling of being completely overwhelmed, stop and do 1 to 3 physiological sighs. If you found this valuable and you're ready to learn more science-backed tools to take control of your own biology, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Try this today or tomorrow at work. Feel the difference for yourself. You hold the remote control to your own nervous system. Now you know how to use it.